Crew Pets. I'm Simeon, and I have a little bit of an apology to make to a certain game that we recently reviewed, Mighty Number 9. Now, a little bit of background. I backed this game immediately after I saw the very first announcement. I got on it and I'm like, yes, I'm excited. It's going to be just like Mega Man. It's going to be fun. And I waited and waited and was so disappointed with how many times they delayed the game. And it finally came out, and I got it because I backed it. And I was really disappointed when I put it in. And I don't think that's something that I'm sorry for, is the disappointment, because I think everybody was disappointed, and rightly so. But I do have an apology to make because I was a lot harsher on it than I should have been. And so I am going to go on record and re-review this game and do it probably a little bit more justice. So at the time I reviewed the game, like I had said, I had only beaten 3 of the levels. And I had played through most of the levels and just was so frustrated with the difficulty of some parts that I did not feel it worth just wasting my time on. And for weeks, I did not play the game, even though I had had it. And my brother kept asking me, week after week, have you played any more Mighty Number 9? Have you beaten it yet? Where are you at? And I kept saying, no, I haven't played it. And so I finally sat down and decided I am going to play this game and I want to beat it. And so I had a day almost completely free. And so I wanted to say I popped that sucker in, but it was the download title. So I started that sucker and I played it, and I actually, believe it or not, enjoyed myself. So first of all, some things that I don't want to take back. I've played through the game. I've beaten it. Some things that I don't want to take back. The graphics are terrible. They really are, with the exception of the last level. It looks a little bit prettier than the rest. It's got a unique graphical style about it, and so that's great. But it looks terrible. The graphics are way worse than they should be. The voice acting remained terrible throughout the entire game. The story, it did get a little bit better, but it still bored me. It was boring. I was not invested really in it. There's a plot twist, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then it really just became no big deal. The loading screens was very, very frustrating, especially on the last level. It seemed like the last level, on the final boss, you had a longer loading screen than ever. Maybe that was just my anticipation of trying to beat the level, but the loading screens were a big problem. They should not have been that bad. And the frame rate issues did remain. They weren't as bad as I had previously made them sound, but they were still bad and they should not have been in the game. So those things I won't take back. And also, something I forgot to mention in my previous review is that the music is very, very forgettable. It's not stuff that you remember. I mean, the main theme is drilled into my head because, from the first time watching the trailer and any time watching any videos having to do with Mighty Number 9, there's that chiming tone in the back of my head, and the credit song that I think Mega Ran did, which is actually pretty good. Those two were good, and the rest of it is completely forgettable. I just don't remember any of it, what any of it sounded like, which is really a shame. That's something that the Mega Man series is known for. So what did I enjoy? And I actually did enjoy this game. I really need to come back and say that I'm sorry that I gave it such a horrible review, because there were things that I really did enjoy. The controls, okay? When I first started out playing this game, I was playing with this thing, which was a big mistake on my part. I'm pretty sure that this is the reason why the game was so difficult for me to just to start out with. It's because I was playing on this thing. Do not play on the gamepad, ever. Do not do it. If you are playing this game on the gamepad and you are disappointed, throw this thing out the window and pick up one of these, or a Classic Controller Pro or Pro Controller, anything else, anything but this. Do not play on this. It is a big waste of time. So that is my fault. The controller made a huge difference in switching to this thing. So play it with this thing, play it with the Classic Controller Pro. Just don't play with the gamepad because the controls feel a lot more natural on that. I don't know what I was thinking. So the controls, they did get a lot better. As the game went on, they became more natural. The dashing still wasn't very precise, and I died several times because the dashing mechanic was hard to get a handle on. But it became a lot more fair the longer I played the game. I got a better hang of it. The difficulty, it became, switching controls made a huge difference, and the difficulty I felt was actually pretty fair throughout the entire game. There's definitely spots where I got frustrated because it was being ridiculous, and it reminded me of something, a different game, and I'll talk about that at the end. So the controls and the difficulty were actually pretty fair, pretty good. I kind of ragged on them and said they were a mixed bag, and there's some truth to that, but they're better than I made them sound. Something else I really enjoyed was the system, the way the whole game worked. The weapon power regeneration was huge, and it was great that, whereas Mega Man, you shoot a weapon, you have to wait until you pick something up to refill your ammo if you're all out of it. Whereas this, you just have to wait or defeat some more enemies and suck them up, and then you get more. But I loved the way that you could just wait and it refilled, so you didn't have to worry about that. And the game gets easier the more you lose, which is something that I really like. So the first time you're going through a level, you're going to die. And the little robot things are going to either not help you at all or give you really stupid power-ups most of the time. But if you die on a level and get a game over and restart it, they're going to give you better items. And I really, really liked that system. I never thought of anything like that before, and I really appreciated it. It made me feel like I was progressing if I got a game over. Like, okay, not only do I know the level better, what to do in this point, but I actually have support from these guys. So it's just not a complete waste of time going through the level again. I actually really enjoyed that. I didn't feel like it cheapened the difficulty at all, because it was still very difficult. But I really liked that. Also, there's some really, really good level design. Like I said, I had played through most of the levels, and most of the levels that I played through were pretty bland, or just rehashing old ideas. But then I got to Countershade's level, which is set in the Capitol building, and you have to, as opposed to just going from left to right, you have to search through the Capitol building. You can go either left or right, and it's a circular building, so you just circle around. You have to go through the building left and right and find Countershade, shoot him, and then he'll hide again, and you have to go and find him. That was really clever. I really loved that level. I really liked that boss battle. The boss battle wasn't just he's over here shooting you. It was like you have to hide behind cover, and then he'll be behind cover trying to shoot you, and you have to go climb over and shoot him. Oh, so good. Such good level design. Such smart level design. Avi's level was really good. Some of the ending levels were really good. Really good level design, and I really, really appreciated that. Also, the special abilities were so cool. Like some of them you just got and you used it to kill a boss or whatever, and then you were done using it. They really didn't serve much purpose other than that. But the helicopter weapon was so much fun to use. Lets you jump higher, lets you hover, then you get to throw the thing and it goes upward. So helpful. The remote missile, you can shoot a bomb and then explode it whenever you want. The sniper rifle weapon was really cool because it can bounce off of walls and enemies and stuff, and it hits other enemies. So helpful. There's a flame explosion one where you can explode yourself and you can charge it up. That one was a lot of fun to use, and the one where you shoot out a bunch of things and then it zaps your opponent and then you can remotely suck them up. That was great. Those were great. They were great ideas, and they remind me of like really good Mega Man weapons, and those things reminded me of what Mega Man really started out as, which was, defeat the enemy and use their weapons against them and use those weapons throughout the level. And I think this did it better than a lot of Mega Man games do in that aspect. The special abilities were great, because usually when I play a Mega Man game, I'm just using the Mega Buster. I'm just sitting there shooting them with Mega Buster because the other weapons, they're helpful at certain points, but I'd rather just use the regular Buster. But in this game, the special abilities were so great that I hardly, I wouldn't say hardly. I think the majority of the time I did use the regular Buster, but I used the special abilities a lot because they were so helpful. And I'm going to pay this game the highest honor that I could possibly give this game, with all of its flaws. And I'm going to compare it to Mega Man X6. And that's a really high honor for me to give a game, because Mega Man X6 is my favorite Mega Man game. And this game reminds me of it because of the weapons and the level design. The level design is so great. Not so much the music, because Mega Man X6 has awesome music, and this one, not so much. But the level design, how it's a frustrating game, and you're going to die a million times in a level because there's instant death spikes everywhere, and you're going to fall into a hole and die. But you're going to get back up and keep playing because the level design is actually really, really good, no matter how frustrating it is. So I'm going to rescore this game. I gave it a 6 last time, and I did that because I was really disappointed, and I hadn't seen everything that this game has to offer. And going back and finishing it with all of its flaws, I'm going to have to rescore it, and I'm going to give it a 7.75 out of 10. 7.75 out of 10. Not quite an 8. There's a couple things holding it back from that high, but definitely not as low as a 6. It did not deserve that low of a score. I think it's great. I think that if you're a Mega Man fan and you haven't played this game, go and buy that game, because it is actually a good game. I will say it. It's not a bad game. It's a good game, and you need to go play it. Thank you guys for listening to my apology, and please go enjoy this game. And don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button and become a part of the crew. And I guess we'll see you guys next time. Hang out.